Okay, so you're ready to jump into Solana,
hmm
right? You've got this amazing project in mind, but there's one problem. You're not a developer.
Yeah, that's a pretty common roadblock. You've got the vision, but bringing it to life on Solana, that means you need to find some seriously talented developers.
And that can be a little intimidating, to say the least.
Absolutely. It can feel like you're entering this whole other world with its own language and rules. It can get overwhelming fast. But hey, that's where a resource like theperfectdeveloper.com can really make a difference.
Okay, I'm listening. Tell me more about theperfectdeveloper.com.
So they've got this system they call the 5 questions, and it's designed to help you cut through all the noise and really zero in on exactly what you need in a Solana developer.
The 5 questions. Huh?
Yeah.
That sounds almost too simple. I mean, finding the right developer, it's a big decision, right?
It is, but trust me, these 5 questions are surprisingly effective. They force you to think strategically about your project and the expertise you need, and we can actually touch on some of those key questions today to give you a sneak peek.
Okay, I'm all for a sneak peek. Let's dive in. So, what's the first question?
One of the first things they ask is, what exactly are you building?
Well, yeah, that makes sense. You need to have a clear vision of your project before you even think about looking for developers.
Right, because building a decentralized exchange, that requires a completely different set of skills compared to, let's say, an NFT marketplace. ThePerfectDeveloper.com helps you think about those nuances.
So how does the perfectdeveloper.com help with the whole technical side of things?
Hmm.
I wouldn't know where to start when it comes to evaluating a developer's skills on Solana.
It can feel overwhelming, definitely. But theperfectdeveloper.com, those 5 questions really break it down. Like, one question focuses on defining the scope of your project. How complex is it? What features are you looking for?
It's kind of like building a house you wouldn't start without a blueprint, right?
Exactly. Having that blueprint helps you pinpoint the essential skills for your project. ThePerfectDeveloper.com even provides insights into specific technologies and programming languages like Rust.
Wait, Rust. Can you explain what that is in simple terms? I keep hearing it, but I'm not really sure what it is.
Think of Rust as it's a really powerful tool. It gives developers precise control over memory management and performance. And that's ideal for building secure and efficient applications, especially on Solana, which is why it's gaining popularity.
Okay, starting to get the picture. Defining the scope, understanding technologies like Rust, good starting points. But what about the budget? I mean, hiring developers, that costs money, right?
You're right, budget is a huge factor, and theperfectdeveloper.com addresses that head on. They emphasize aligning your budget with your expectations. Experienced Solana developers, they're in high demand, and their rates reflect that.
So it's about finding that sweet spot, getting a quality developer while staying within budget.
Exactly. And theperfectdeveloper.com helps you weigh those considerations. Sometimes investing in a more experienced developer, even if it costs more upfront, can actually save you money in the long run. Think about it, they'll be more efficient, make fewer mistakes, and deliver a higher quality product.
Right, it's about looking at the big picture, not just the initial price tag. So, theperfectdeveloper.com and their 5 questions, it sounds like they could be a game changer for someone new to the salon development scene.
Absolutely. It takes the guesswork out of it and helps you make informed decisions.
I'm definitely intrigued. I think our listeners are probably ready to check it out right now.
You can find the 5 questions on their website, theperfectdeveloper.com. It's free, and it only takes a few minutes to get started.
Okay, I'm sold. But let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about some of the specific questions people have when it comes to hiring Solana developers. Like, where do you even find these developers? It feels like searching for a needle in a haystack sometimes.
Well, it used to feel that way. But again, theperfectdeveloper.com has some great insights on that. They break down the best places to find top Solana talent, and they really give you the inside scoop.
Okay, tell me more. I'm all ears.
You've got several options. ThePerfectDeveloper.com breaks them all down so you can choose the best fit for your needs. You've got your traditional routes like, well, job boards, think LinkedIn, Indeed. You know, the usual suspects.
Yeah, those are the go-tos. I've definitely spent my fair share of time on those sites. But honestly, sometimes it feels like you're just sifting through profiles without really getting a sense of their actual abilities.
Oh, totally. Resumes and profiles, they can only tell you so much, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the points thePerfectDeveloper.com brings up. They actually recommend exploring freelance platforms as well.
Really? Freelancing for Solana development. How does that even work?
Think of platforms like Upwork, TopTal. They're kind of like online marketplaces where you can connect with freelance developers, and I mean, from all over the world. And the great thing is, You can see examples of their past work, read reviews from other clients. You can even get a feel for their communication style before you even hire them.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought about looking for Solana developers on those platforms. But what if you need a whole team? Or what if you're just not comfortable, like, handling the hiring process yourself?
Well, that's where specialized agencies come in. There are agencies out there that focus specifically on finding and vetting developers, for blockchain projects. And some of them have a particular focus on Solana.
So it's like having a dedicated recruiter who knows the ins and outs of the Solana development world.
Yeah, exactly. They handle everything from screening candidates to negotiating contracts, so you don't have to. It frees you up to focus on other aspects of your project.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got job boards, freelance platforms, and then agencies. That's a pretty good range of options.
Right.
But let's say you found a few potential candidates. What then? What are some of the key questions you should be asking them during the interview process to make sure they're a good fit for your Solana project?
Well, that's where the perfectdeveloper.com's interview questions really shine, in my opinion. They provide a really helpful framework, for asking the right questions to assess not only a developer's technical skills, but also their problem-solving abilities, their communication style, and, just their overall fit with your team culture.
So it's about more than just knowing how to code.
Absolutely. You want someone who gets Solana, who can think critically, be creative, and truly be a valuable addition to your team. They really emphasize that.
Can you give me an example, maybe one of the questions theperfectdeveloper.com recommends asking?
Sure. One of my favorites is, how would you explain Solana to someone who's never heard of it?
Hmm, that's interesting. Seems basic, but I guess it really gets to the heart of whether they understand the fundamentals, right?
Right. If they can explain it in a way that's clear and concise, it shows they have a good grasp of the technology.
Okay, that makes sense. What about like their actual technical skills? Are there any specific questions that theperfectdeveloper.com suggests to kind of weed out the posers from the real Solana experts?
Definitely. ThePerfectDeveloper.com recommends asking about real-time applications, how much experience they have, and also their familiarity with certain tools and frameworks that are specific to Solana development, like have they worked with Anchor?
Anchor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a framework for building smart contracts on Solana.
Yeah.
And you can even give them like a little hypothetical problem, to solve and see how they approach it.
So it's not just about them knowing the buzzwords, it's about seeing how they think and apply their knowledge.
Right, exactly. And don't be afraid to get into the details, like, ask about their experience with Rust or, how well do they understand on-chain programs, anything that shows they have a deep understanding of how Solana works. ThePerfectDeveloper.com gives you a whole bunch of example questions so you can tailor it to your specific project.
Okay, I'm definitely sold. I'm going to check out theperfectdeveloper.com and those 5 questions. It sounds like a must-have resource for anyone who's thinking about hiring Solana developers.
For sure, it'll save you a lot of headaches. And it's free.
Free, even better. All right, so to wrap things up for our listeners, I hope this mini deep dive into the world of hiring Solana developers has been helpful. Even if you're not quite ready to start hiring just yet, just knowing what to look for, what to ask, that can make all the difference when the time comes.
Absolutely. Finding the right developers is crucial, but it's just the first step, right? Building a successful project on Solana, it's a team effort. Communication, shared vision, it's all part of the journey.
Well said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go out there armed with this knowledge and build something incredible on Solana.